Hello and welcome to my kitchen. My name is Paula Otter. I'm a patron of the Brunswick Library and an enthusiastic home baker. I've been invited to share with you how to make the ideal English treat, the Bakewell Tart. A Bakewell Tart consists of a short crust pastry filled with layers of jam and almond frangipane filling. It can be topped with either flaked almonds or a fondant icing. The Bakewell Tart is a version of the Bakewell pudding, a recipe that stems from the 19th century that originated in the town of Bakewell located in the Derbyshire Dales. The common story is that it was made accidentally by the cook of the White Horse Inn, who instead of mixing all the ingredients together, she layered them instead, creating a new confection we can enjoy today. So let's get baking. For this recipe you will need, for the sweet short crust pastry, 225 grams of all-purpose flour, 150 grams of butter chilled and cubed, 25 grams of icing or powdered sugar, 1 egg that's beaten, and a small amount of water. For the frangipane filling, you will need 150 grams of soft butter, 150 grams granulated sugar, 150 grams almond flour, 1 egg that's beaten, 1 teaspoon almond extract, and 1 sweet short crust pastry chilled from the fridge. To make the pastry, in a bowl, add the flour and the chilled cubed butter. Toss to coat the butter, then proceed to break it up into small pieces. Rub the butter into the flour until it resembles the size of breadcrumbs. The next step, add the icing sugar and mix to combine. After that, add the beaten egg and a small amount of water. If your dough is dry, add a little bit of water at a time. If the dough is wet, then just leave it out. I found 1 tablespoon of water was just enough. Gently knead in the bowl until you have a soft ball. Then tip it out onto the counter and continue to knead and press till it comes together. It should only take a minute or two. Don't overwork the dough or it will turn out tough and not flaky. Wrap in plastic, shape it into a disc, it'll make it for an easier time to roll it out later on, and pop it in the fridge for a minimum of half an hour. Overnight is best. Now the fun part happens. It's time to roll the dough. Lightly dust your counter, the tops of the dough, and your rolling pin with flour. Gently press the rolling pin across the dough. It helps to flatten it before rolling. Begin rolling from the center up and then center down. Don't let the rolling pin roll off the edges. Next, turn the dough and continue to roll it to the thickness and desired diameter. Don't worry about the edges cracking. Use your tart tin to gauge if you have enough dough for the sides and the base. The best way to transfer the dough is to roll it up on your rolling pin and drape it into the tin. Lightly press the dough, making sure there's no air pockets. This is a pretty forgiving dough, so don't worry about any rips or tears. It can be patched up with any extra dough. To prevent the pastry from puffing up during baking, lightly tap the base and sides with a fork. You don't want to press all the way through the dough. Use a rolling pin to trim off the extra dough. Save any extra dough. It can be re-wrapped in plastic and stored back in the fridge to make smaller tarts. Next is to blind bake the pastry, which prevents any soggy bottoms. Preheat the oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. Line the tin with parchment paper and fill with pie weights. Uncooked rice or beans work just as well. Bake for about 15 minutes. Remove the parchment paper and the pie weights. Pop back in the oven for an additional 5 minutes. Let cool while we make the filling. In a bowl, cream together the softened butter and the granulated sugar until fluffy and light in color. You can use a mixer or you can do this by hand. Next, add the almond flour, the beaten egg, and the almond extract. Stir till thoroughly combined. Now put the filling to one side. Spread a thin layer of your favorite jam onto the cooled pastry. Strawberry or raspberry are the traditional choices, but I prefer raspberry. Next, add the frangipane filling, spreading it to the edges of the pastry case, taking care not to let the jam leak through the filling. Top with flake almonds and bake in a 350-degree Fahrenheit oven for about 25 to 35 minutes until golden brown and the tip of a knife inserted in the center comes out clean. Let cool completely, then reward all of your hard work with the first slice and a cup of tea. You deserve it. Thank you for watching. Enjoy!